Hello and welcome to another video for Introduction to Information System class. And I wanted to go ahead and differentiate between peer-to-peer and client server. Again, we're not going in depth with this comparison. We just wanted to really touch the service. Peer-to-peer network, from the name of it, as you notice, there are a number of computers that are working with each other in an equal status. Each one of them is going to be referred to as the peer, just like your group of your friends. You're all equal. Nobody is really the boss. Nobody is really standing out as the master of the remaining of the groups. So this is exactly what we have to think about the peer-to-peer versus client-server, which is a little bit more because we have one server that actually serving multiple clients. So when it comes to the number of the users, notice that the number of the users or number of the clients or number of the nodes, we're going to actually say less than or equal to 10 is appropriate for peer-to-peer because the small size of the network. While it could go a lot larger than 10, and the expansion of a client server could go up to hundreds, even thousands of computers. When it comes to sharing data, or software, of course, sharing data. You share the data among yourself in the peer-to-peer. Every computer is able to share data from another computer. Here it has to go through the server first, which is it's going to emphasize the central computing, meaning what? Meaning everything is located centrally and it's going to be accessed from that perspective. When it comes to security, it's not secure at all. It is not secure because there is no one location that control every client in the network. It can be very, very secure. Sorry here, secure. It can be very secure, and it should be actually very secure. And if we're going to go ahead and continue from a cost point of view, it costs the number of the computers. It's not that costly, but it is not that costly, but it's not cheap because you have to pay for the computers. It can be depending on the number of the nodes, it can be very costly, because it can be very costly. The reason you have to have a dedicated computers to act as the server, and also not everybody is able to run and manage a client server environment. So more likely you will have a specialized person needs to manage that network. Okay. Another thing that we could think about between the difference between those two, all right, it's sharing hardware, and it's chaotic in here. It's not that effective. It is very productive or effective. All right. One thing again, I wanted to go ahead and the type of the computing between the two. Each computer does its own computing needs. Here it's called cooperative cooperative computing. Why it's computing? Why it's called that way? Because, okay, it's called that way because you request something from the server, and the server responds to you by sending you what you need, but you have to respond to you, but you have to complete the computing or processing locally in your client. So that's why we call it cooperative. That's why we call it cooperative, because both the server and the client working on the same task. Remember, the client is a full-fledged computer, so it has its own RAM, it has its own CPU, it has its own hard disk, so everything can be done. This is again touch the service between these two type of networks. Of course, everything is moving now to the cloud, and you will notice that a lot of our computing need is basically done through the cloud. So that's is moving us to a very different. Let me go ahead and choose one here. And go ahead and select all of this. Anyway, I want you to be able to understand that cloud computing, which will be discussed in a further details in the future videos, it's really the norms. It's what the world is moving toward. And you will see less and less of the peer-to-peer in the client server. But no matter what you look at it at this moment, we still have to need one of those. Client server is the network that is going to connect us to the cloud eventually, but most of the work is going to be done somewhere else other than locally inside our business. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps to clarify the difference between peer-to-peer, and we're going to go from there.